Hey, how are we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another day, another stream, another Wednesday stream. Always say, once we get to a Wednesday and we have save on, it kind of marks halfway through the week, doesn't it? So we're halfway through the week. We've done the first half, and now we're on to the second. Gary, how are we doing? Shaky market today. Will it pump for Trump? Windsor tie or Powell's dump, scary day. There's a lot going on, isn't there? And the price action is very wild, like you say. Zedcon, how we doing? What else have we got? Yeah, we've got Gary, and thanks for joining, Gary. And John Brown, how we doing, mate? Great to see you. What was the trade that you had on yesterday, John? I can't remember. How did it go in the end? Did it go good? But yeah, thank you for joining me, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Make sure you do drop a like. If you haven't, get those likes running up. Make sure you do smash a like if you haven't already. And of course, we've got our good friend Save here. How we doing, mate?
Hello there. Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. Yeah, I'm good. Quite excited about today, actually, in a weird sort of apprehensive way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting to see what happens today. Obviously, we've had some pretty interesting price action going on. We was pumping up this morning, and obviously we have retraced down pretty much to where we started from. That went to just over 117k, so I believe that has put in a local high. Yeah, it has, yeah. So that's obviously put in the highest Bitcoin price since obviously we started to fall to the downside. And we got that kind of ladder down. But as you can see, yeah, just kind of hanging around. We've somewhat pushed out of this bit now, and obviously now hanging around here. Maybe we fall back down towards yesterday's levels. We'll have to see. But yeah, so far, obviously, any break to the upside is yet to be convincing. As you can see, just up, down, back to where we started this morning. But yeah, obviously, we got FOMC today. So for those of you that don't know, that is in just under 6 hours' time. So that is 7 o'clock UK time. But just under 6 hours, we get the announcement of what the Fed is doing to interest rates. We got Justin. How we doing, mate? Great to see you. Keep your energy reserved for a long day. And we got Powell says, how many minutes till FOMC press conference? A while. The actual press conference. Well, the interest rate decision is in 5 hours and 55 minutes. So that is obviously when it gets announced what the Fed has done to interest rates. And then the press conference starts 30 minutes later. So the press conference is in 6 hours and 25 minutes time. So a good long while to go. Yeah, there is a good long while to go. But obviously we'll be having our usual stream now. And then we'll be back live later tonight for the rate reaction. And then obviously watching the press conference as we usually do. So it should be a good day. Make sure you're obviously sticking around on both streams. There will be a break in between as well, of course. Nick, how we doing, mate? Great to see you. Bobby. Fed are going to pump Pepe today. Is that so? Yeah, is that so? We'll see, won't we? We'll see. Obviously, it is the resounding expectation that it is a 25 basis point cut today. So as you can see, that is a 94% probability on FedWatch and just a 6% chance. So it's a small chance, but it is obviously a chance. So the market is pricing in 6% probability of a 50 basis point cut. So obviously anything other than a 25 basis point cut, whether it be, a bigger cut in being 0.5%, or obviously you've got no change here, which is priced at 0% after obviously Powell's comments at Jackson Hole, which we got that huge push up, didn't we? If anyone remembers that. That was a crazy move that day. But yeah, obviously, market is majority focused on a 25 basis point cut. So we'll see, won't we? We'll see today. I'm personally not in any trades apart from the Sundog swing long, which is just running in the background. I've not gone into any more trades after getting stopped on ETH yesterday. So I'm going to kind of try and capitalize on any volatility we get today.
Oh, you've gone a bit weird.
We're on the wrong side of the screen, mate. Me and you, aren't we?
Yeah, I was going to mention that actually. I kind of added myself when I was going to have a little chat with you beforehand, and I suddenly realised we're swapped around.
There we go. Do you know what? I didn't even notice that. I didn't even notice.
We could sort it out if you want.
I've done it. Yeah, I've sorted it.
Oh yeah, okay. You're happier on that side.
I think. Well, it wasn't me. It was Bobby. But Bobby seemed to have an issue with you being on the right side. Okay. So yeah, Bobby's kicked you back over to the left hand side.
I'm quite happy to ride shotgun. That's all right.
Yeah. Justin says getting ready to short hard. Yeah, I've kind of got. Is it on this chart? Let me see. Is it on this chart? Maybe it was on. Maybe it was on the one I put in the newsletter. Yeah, so I've kind of got this area. So this is what I put in the newsletter that went out yesterday, the CC newsletter. I'm kind of looking at this area, kind of like 119 to 119.5, maybe up to 120 perhaps. I don't know what you're thinking, Justin, and anyone else. Let me know in the chat. But that's kind of what I was looking at yesterday. And yeah, I have also been keeping an eye on 113k. I think that is a potential, obviously, downside, alongside obviously the low time frame support that we've built here, just below 115k, which we tested again yesterday. So they're kind of the two. I mean, if we get a push up to 119k plus, I think I may have a nibble on the old red button, yeah. But wouldn't it be crazy if we just dumped non-stop? Imagine that. Imagine that. Yeah. I'll be looking forward to see what happens. That's for sure. I will be greatly looking forward to see what happens. You were short on pump and close now. Went well. Yeah. Very nice, John. Well done, mate. Discipline. How we doing, my good friend? Bobby said it was messing with his mind. Was it almost like what's it called that now? What is it called now? There's a specific word for it, in it, when you think something is one way, but you're told that it's not that way, and you kind of can't find proof for it being that. I can't think of what I'm trying to say. There is a word for that though, and I can't remember what word it is. You know, basically when you're like, I'm sure this company used to have this on the logo, and there's just like, no, you can't find any history of it being like that. But you're like, no, I'm sure that used to look like that, and it didn't. I remember, like, obviously one of the good examples is the Dairy Lee cow, and a lot of people always think that there used to be a nose ring through the cow, and there wasn't, or something. There's a word for it. I can't think of what the actual phrase is. Justin says, imagine if we get cuts but no volume. That would be seriously funny. That would screw with people's minds. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of open to any scenario, really. I'm kind of just looking to step in at the extremities. I would definitely be interested in long in 113k, and I would definitely be interested in short in above 119. Yeah. What about you, mate? What are you thinking?
I'm kind of I'm kind of, I don't know. Did you see Block Pro this morning on Crypto Saving Expert?
No, didn't.
Okay, so I mean, its point was, it's like, you know, it's going to be good news, whatever happens. It's going to be an interest rate cut of some sort. But what happens if it isn't as good as people think it's going to be? So what he was saying is that the 0.25, I think that's the average figure, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the one which is probably priced in. So that's why we've seen the pump over the last few days. But if it's not that, that's going to be bad news. People that's going to crash the market.
I think that's the thing, innit? Yeah, it's kind of like, it's a weird thing, because when we had the pump at the end of August, when Powell was at Jackson Hole, and then basically come out and said that they're going to be, he didn't say it exactly, but he alluded to the fact that the Fed is ready to cut rates, and we got that massive, do you remember that massive pump that we had that day, where Bitcoin, it went from like 113k up to like 117 in like 2 hours or something, from when Powell was speaking at Jackson Hole. So that was obviously something that the market, wasn't prepared for, and obviously reacted very well to. Where this time, obviously, as we've just looked at, it's a 94% probability. Is that kind of just baked into the market? And if it's that, is it just like, do we sell off? Because we've kind of been, we've been pushing up a little bit, haven't we, so far this week? We've been testing just below 15, and we're currently above 16, and we have got just above 17 obviously earlier today. So we have been kind of pushing up a little bit so far this week. Is it kind of baked in for maybe a drop? Or, I mean, I don't know what happened. If it's a 0.5%, does that maybe scare the market a bit because they're cutting more than expectation? So does the Fed see something in the economy that is, maybe ready to break, or some warning signs, and they have to, ease policy more than anticipated? So yeah, it's a bit strange, and I suppose anything could happen.
And to be honest, they're kind of just the idea of like, it's going to be good news, therefore the price will go up. Doesn't that seem a little bit too easy for you?
Yeah, a little bit. Which is why we could get one or two things. We could get a big spike up, ready to short back down. Like kind of just a blowout of short liquidity up, and then obviously like a trap, and then we just drift back down. Or it's kind of just baked in. We get 25 basis point cuts, and the market's like, all right, okay. Well, now that's done, and it just starts dumping. I don't know. The Mandela effect. Yes, that was it, Steve-O. That was it. The Mandela effect. That's what I was thinking of. Nick, how we doing, mate? Great to see you. Great to see you. Yeah, let's go and actually have a look at that point that I was referring to then, because this was a great rally that we got. Obviously, following Jackson Hole, it was this one. Do you remember this one? I don't know if everyone does.
When was that?
So this was Friday, the 22nd of August. So a good couple of weeks ago now. But this was obviously when Powell was speaking at Jackson Hole, and then obviously alluded to the fact that Fed was ready to change policy. And we went from 112.5 all the way up to above 117 in just a matter of hours. That was glorious because we watched this on stream and it was great. And I was long from somewhere down here, and it was a great trade on stream. But then obviously we just as Bitcoin does, volatile move and then just drifts the opposite way, and obviously we just fell down. But yeah, like I mentioned, we have been pushing up so far this week a little bit. Monday we was down here at the lows of below 115, so we've pushed up a couple of K. But yeah, I think I've got my eyes on some downside levels for sure.
So if what are your lower levels that you're
let me go and pull them up. So let me just readjust. I'll tell you what, I'll just go back to the chart I did for the newsletter. So I'm kind of, obviously we've got this area here, haven't we, where we formed since last Thursday, and we came up kind of into this range. We've formed this kind of trading range here, which we're now obviously looking like Bitcoin's attempting to break, but we are into resistance. So down below, below 115k, down towards like 114.5, you could say, is obviously, key demand, key support. As you can see, test it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. So that is obviously like lower time frame immediate, what you'd be looking at. But then I think obviously maybe a test of SR here. We had this, didn't we, from late August into September of resistance, just below 113k. So maybe we come into that, and then if we end up falling, if we fall below there, we could definitely come into kind of the 110 to 111k region. So I'm not too sure exactly what side of the fence I sit on. I'm kind of just waiting for maybe one of these levels to be tested, and that's probably about it, really. Okay,
I want to be prepared this time. I want to make sure I'm not.
Are you taking the act of the lion this time?
I am. That is exactly what.
Lion, waiting to pounce like this. Yeah. I tell you what, he's not here. Jeff was asking for the raw the other day.
Was he?
Jeff was asking for the raw. Let's see if he joins. Let's see if he normally joins about halfway through, I think. The press conference will probably be more important than the decision. I mean, I suppose it depends on how dovish Powell comes in. How is his tone on future cuts as well? Because we've only got 2 more cuts 2 more meetings this year, haven't we? After this one, I think there's one in October and then December. I think that's right. Let's check.
Actually, do you want to have a look at your heat map thing? Because we'll
get that up. Yeah,
because I know, I think there's a bunch of liquidity up at like 117.
Yeah,
but I think if it goes down, it'll go down a lot more. Sub 100. I think.
Yeah, well, we do have the next meeting on the 29th of October, and then the next one after that, obviously last one of the year, is December 10th. So, we've got kind of like a 6-week gap, haven't we, between 5-6 weeks between the next two. So yeah, obviously a big gap between the October one and the December one. That's like a month and a half in it. So yeah, they're the next two. So, and then we do have actually one in January. We have one at the end of January, but again, that's another long wait in it. You're going from the 10th of December all the way to one of the last days of January, and then a break until mid-March. It's crazy looking at them dates already, isn't it? Do you not think?
I know.
Before we know it, we'll be sitting there, we'll be going through all these meetings again, and it'll be like, wow, where's the time gone, Where's the time gone? But yeah, so on a 24-hour chart, we have got liquidity, which Bitcoin is maybe looking to take. Got a good chunk below, which I'm guessing is the current daily low. Yeah. Which does take us down to around 115.7-ish. And then, of course, above us, taking us just below 118. Now, the 3-day, I believe I was looking at before. So we've got that kind of region again. That's lining up with, just under 118k. And then on the 3-day, I think we're coming in towards, the below the weekly low, which is, as you'd expect, is the hot liquidity there. So that is down towards 114. Let's have a look at the 2-week time frame so we can zoom out a bit. As you can see, when was this? Was this yesterday? No, today, actually. Earlier today, we came up and we took out that hot chunk of liquidity there. We do still have some, and again, now, that is lining up with the 24-hour and 3-day outlook of the hottest liquidity in terms of the 2-week time frame as well, being just below 118. And then, as you can see, there's nothing majorly too built up when you're looking at it on a 2-week time horizon for liquidity chunks to the downside. While we're at it, we may as well look at the monthly. And when we go to a monthly time frame, you can see all the way up to 120. So this is kind of maybe where it gets a bit interesting, because obviously looking at the chart for what for personally what I've been looking at anyway, is kind of up towards like 119.5, maybe up to 120. But as you can see there, you've got all this juicy hot liquidity, and that takes us up to around about 119.5. So if we do get some sort of push into there, I will be very, very keen to see the reaction from then on, because we could get a really prime, juicy short opportunity there.
Good. You see, I'm liking the look of all that down at 90k.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, imagine if it went to 119.5 and then just dumped the shit out of itself all the way down there. Because you can imagine it, can't you? Everyone will be getting excited and bullish and everything as it started to climb towards 120. And imagine if then it just unwound itself on a really biblical level. Yeah. That would be crazy. So you're looking at this down here, which, do you know what? If you look at that piece of hot liquidity there, do you know what that lines up with? 92k. And
that lines up with a lot of things I'm looking at, actually.
Yeah. Well, it lines up. We still have that CME gap open.
Right.
Down at, I'll show you exactly where it is. So there is a CME gap open. Hang on. Let me get rid of these ones, because obviously these are closed now. Yeah. So obviously on the CME exchange, it is between 91.5 to 92.5. And if you want to see exactly where it is, we're going to have to go back a little bit of a while, but I'll show you. There we go. I was thinking, why is that not loading? There we go. So this is obviously, I bet this brings back good memories for you, because this is where you was just making serial money, weren't it? On this rally up. Yeah. But yeah, as you can see, we have got this open gap still here between 91.5 and 92. So we created the gap here. We come down to there, but we didn't obviously come down and close it all down towards here. So that is still open. So you saying that, it does line up also, whatever you've been looking at, There is a CME gap down there to add some strength to that too.
I might write that down. What level's it at?
91.5 to 92.5. That's on the CME exchange though, so obviously there's a bit of a discrepancy in there by a couple of $100, but yeah, I mean it doesn't really matter too much, does it?
Okay. That'd be. I mean, that actually is. I mean, percentage-wise, what's that? It's about 25% or something, is it?
What from here?
Yeah, from where we are now down to about, say,
from where we are now,
down to 91.5.
20%.
Yeah,
just under 22. Now, if we went up to 120 or 119.5, that would be just under 25%.
Yeah,
it's still not that bad. I think you could actually go down there. We could go down there, and it actually wouldn't be that much of a terrible thing. I think if you look on the kind of really high time frame, if we're going on the weekly, we would actually still be intact. For me, we're not really. When you look at that, if we came down here, you could build a case for that as just a higher low. Do you consider these higher lows? Well, I don't know, because the retrace hasn't really been like that great, has it for these dips? This one and this one. Whereas if you put in, say, a big one here, and we come out and took out these lows, and you come down here and really scare everyone, and then you just go like this. Is that something that you would really pique your interest?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get like a life changing entry, and then maybe not mess around with it so much this time.
One of them ones, like, for instance, if we got another of this where you get a dip down here, and then you get in and you just leave it to run for weeks and weeks.
Yeah, just do a crypto style thing,
Yeah.
And then I'll talk about it on a live stream from Thailand in 5 years' time when Bitcoin's at 500,000.
Yeah, well, there we go. We'll come back to this. Maybe we'll be able to come back to this stream and look at that drawing that I've just done there and go, wow, what a visionary.
Maybe, or it might just go up forever, or it might just dump down and never come back.
Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it, but I'm keen to see. I mean, also, if you're looking at it, really, that is big weekly resistance there, just above 119k. So it all kind of does make sense. We'll just obviously have to see what happens, won't we? But I'm keen to say I'm kind of the same as you. I'm being a bit of a lion now, just waiting to pounce if I can.
Nice.
Did you see what happened to me on stream yesterday?
I sort of heard what happened. I was driving at the time, so I didn't quite understand actually. But you nearly got liquidated on stream.
No, I did get liquidated on.
Oh no,
it was after stream. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you exactly. I'll show you what happened. I'll show you. I've been logged out of BLOFIN for some reason. So I woke up yesterday and I thought, do you know what? This compression looks really nice on ETH. I'm going to put the long. And I kind of went kind of liquidation or glory on it instead of putting a stop loss in. And if you see this, here, this here low that ETH has put in, 4,421. Yes, guess where what level was my liquidation?
It was probably about $5 away from it, was it?
4,422. It was $1. What, $1? Of $1. I got liquidated by, which is really annoying because it's basically back to my entry now. This was round about where I entered yesterday, 4,503 ish. But yeah, there we go. So that was wild to see. I was almost speechless.
Were you on silly leverage?
Yeah, I was on 45x.
Okay. Why?
Because I just liked in the moment how ETH was doing. Now I have a real problem with this personally. Is I really should give it a couple of hours when I wake up in the morning before I enter a trade. But sometimes I wake up, I look at something, and I'm still kind of half asleep or not fully awake and stuff, and I haven't really looked at the charts and what's going on for the day and stuff like that. And I'll enter a trade, and that has been kind of my downfall on many occasions, where I'll just enter a trade too quickly after waking up and not really like think it through or provide proper like thought behind it, because like I'm not too long from waking up. Where really I should give myself a good couple of hours after waking up before entering any trade. But yeah, that's not what I did. So, and then obviously to make things worse, I had that Coinbase incident yesterday as well.
Oh, what was that?
So,
your Coinbase incident.
What?
Was that your Coinbase?
Yeah. So
okay.
I sent USDT on Solana to Coinbase by accident when they only take deposit for USDC on Solana. So now my USDT is just trapped in my Solana deposit address on Coinbase, but they won't do anything about it because they don't support USDT on Solana. So that is kind of now just trapped in there as well. So I just kind of got a double whammy yesterday, which was mightily annoying, but yeah, can't do anything about it.
So have you asked support and stuff?
Yeah, I asked them. They said there's nothing can be done because
really?
they don't. Yeah, even though it's in there, like you can actually see that it's in there.
It's annoying because they've got it, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got it, but they don't support USDT on Solana. So, yeah, literally nothing can be done, which is just incredibly annoying.
That is incredibly annoying.
So now that money is locked in there. I'm hoping that obviously if they do, I don't know why they haven't added USDT on Solana. Like that just seems stupid to me. But yeah, I'm hoping if they ever do add that, then that will just be kind of like money that just comes back to me eventually, and I'll be like, oh, nice, got that back. You'll never guess what happened yesterday on stream. I don't know if you was watching or not, but Wiz,
I saw Wiz talking about something to do with the price of Bitcoin, but I didn't quite get what was going on because I can't
remember what it was, but I brought up Coinbase and it's because we were talking about the base token that they're meant to be releasing and stuff like that. And Wiz was explaining how like he used to be obviously on Coinbase and he still had 5 ETH locked in there that he couldn't get out because he got banned from Coinbase and stuff. But because we brought up Coinbase and that, he actually logged in to Coinbase and he's actually managed to get back in. So now he's been able to unstake his 5 ETH, but he's got to wait 90 days to get it.
Oh, right.
But he's been able to unstake it, which is, obviously a juicy amount of money.
Nice.
Yeah. So that, that was a good story from yesterday.
Oh, he's doing all right, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Regarding your Ethereum trade, I've got a suggestion.
Go on.
Use Stonksy.
Yeah.
Because look at it. If you put it on the 1 hour, right, on the Ethereum chart. Right. Then look at the oscillator, right, down the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. So that was stuck on red until 8 o'clock last night.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and then it's gone pink.
So really, you should have waited until it went pink. Really.
Yeah. Well, that is true because obviously it come in pink there and then obviously pushed up. Mainly, what I was focusing on was this range because I was kind of expecting ETH to just obviously remain compact and then start at least. I wasn't even looking for like a major move. I was just looking for it to like just start filling in some of this push down because Bitcoin had done it, other altcoins had done it, and then literally just on US Open it just chose violence and just plummeted to the downside and obviously took me out. So that was the kind of my theory behind it. Was obviously at this point it had compressed nicely, and I was just thinking, right, okay, because if we go on something, so let's go on Bitcoin. So obviously that is the dump from last, when was it? Was it on Friday? No, sorry, on Monday, early Monday. when we dump down here. So you can see big 3 red candles down and then compression. And as you can see, come yesterday, Bitcoin had filled in all of that move, and it was all already back to up here, where ETH literally was obviously just so weak and hadn't done it yet. So that's kind of what I was riding on. And if you actually go to other altcoins had started backfilling this Monday dump move as well. So that's what I was looking for. I was just looking for a push back into here and just get out anywhere for decent profit. But obviously that didn't happen. So yeah.
the other thing is as well, if you put it on the 6 minute, there was something I was talking to Dean about when he was a guest on the stream when you were on holiday.
Yeah.
And basically what it was is if you go back to about US Open yesterday.
Yeah, just hang on. I'm just plugging in my mouse to charge. Which way does this go? Yeah, it goes this way. There we go. Right, let me go back to US Open from yesterday. Yeah.
Right. So what I was talking to about Dean, we were talking about this idea that, normally what you do is, well, the 2 main techniques that I use with Stonksy is one of them is that kind of oscillator turning from like red to pink. The other one is this 6 minute one, where normally you'd be looking on a green background for the price to break the bottom of the inner channel, right? Now the point was, this time yesterday it wasn't on a green background, but one thing I've been noticing, actually it was my friend Math actually who I work with sometimes. He noticed it, and it's basically where the inner channel goes really, really steep and it starts like heading downwards. What happens is the price tends to follow the lower boundary of the inner channel, right? So what you're looking for there as an entry, you're looking for when it stops doing that, right? So if you look on there, you see that little bit. It's literally right down the bottom. You see, it's been following the channel down.
Yeah.
And then it breaks away. Now that would have been a good point to go long.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing quite often. And you'll also see that later in the day, actually. I mean, it's more of a scalping kind of thing, but you'll see that later in the day actually, it was this morning, actually. This morning at about 5 a.m. If you look at it there, I know you wouldn't have been awake, but and you see the same kind of thing, the channel starts to go steep.
Yeah.
And it follows it down, and then when you see like a couple of green candles, even only on the 6 minute time frame, and you see it break away from not doing that, that's normally a really good entry, and you can get a brilliant little scalp there doing that. And even again, it did that at about 9:30 this morning as well. Started heading down, following that lower boundary, and then it broke away at about midday. So that was about an hour and a half ago, and it broke away there. And now it's going back up.
Yeah, and what you can notice about the previous 2 is, obviously, at some point, it comes down and it touches the outer channel as well. So as you can see here, it touches the outer channel. It did come a slight bit lower later on, but obviously it's just started to level off there before going back up. But as you can see on the capitulation move, it come down, touched the outer band, and then obviously bounced, and then that kind of marks a bottom area. Again, obviously, like you mentioned earlier today, you got this strong sell-off here, and again, come down, basically touch the outer channel there, deep move into it, again, mark the bottom, and then push back up.
Yeah. That's really good. Actually, that thing with the bottom, with the outer boundary, that's one we did when I was covering for you the other week, and I can't remember what asset I did it on. I think it was Ethereum actually, but it was something like that where it was coming down. It might have even been the one where I was on there with Dean and we were talking about it and we were looking at it, and then it broke down a lot more. So we were waiting for it to sort of go up from that lower boundary, but it actually went further down and actually touched the outer one. And I was saying this is a pretty good entry, I reckon. And that one, I didn't actually close it on the stream, but I closed it a few hours later. And I think I don't know, I made I can't remember now. It's like a 60% profit or something on it. It was brilliant. It was a really good one.
Yeah.
So that is a. So I think that's like 3 techniques really. That you so you're looking for the 1 hour oscillator going pink from when it's stuck on the bottom. You want another one is the 6-minute time frame, where you've got a green background, and then you're looking for it breaking the lower boundary of the inner channel. And then this one we're talking about here, where it's followed it down on a steep move, and even if it breaks the outer boundary as well. And I think those are all like brilliant sort of entries for a long, I mean, you could probably use that tonight, if we see Bitcoin. Well, it doesn't matter what you're trading really, but if you're looking at something like Bitcoin and it does crash down, down to 90k, you should have Stonksy on, and you should be looking for that kind of thing, the break of the lower boundary, that kind of thing. It's going to be difficult catching a falling knife if it does fall fast, but if so, you could use Stonksy to get like a really, really excellent entry.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That is a really good explanation, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to get that clipped up and put it on the channel.
Oh, nice. Okay, good.
Yeah, that is superb. Yeah. How are you finding the channel updates? Have you had much time to mess around with it, or
is it? I haven't actually. Funny enough, I'm just looking at it on a different chart, and I realised I hadn't actually updated that one.
Yeah, Dean gave us a good outline and description of it.
Yeah, I missed that show. I mean, is it? It's mostly cosmetic, isn't it? Or has he added some things so that the bot works better?
It is. Yeah, it's basically it's the red and the green and the grey, and it's basically it's just outlining momentum changes, or I can't remember what he says. He's the guy to ask, but he has put an explanation article out on the Medium for anyone obviously that wants to read that. But I think it looks really nice as well, with obviously what he's done just cosmetically, like you say. But yeah, I think it is tied to obviously like the strength of the moves and stuff in the markets as well. Bitcoin is taking a big old dump now. Look at that.
Is it?
Yeah.
So what are you doing settings wise with Stonks? Are you still fiddling with things, or
nothing now really? No.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of just preset, I think, to what I had it anyway.
Yeah, I'm just using it pretty much straight out the box now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. I have left the background color change as well to the standard settings as well, so they're a little bit lighter. Oh yeah, Bitcoin is taking a bit of a dump there. Interesting. I think there's maybe going to be there's going to be a lot of uncertainty in the market, isn't there, going into this today. How we doing, Tantana? Great to see. Firewatch, what's good, mate? What's good? If anyone is watching and hasn't dropped a like, please make sure you scroll down, hit the like button. Let's see what we're on. 9 likes. We got 36 viewers and 9 likes. That's poor. That is a poor effort, guys. 37 viewers now and 9 likes. Come on, let's take a minute, take a second, scroll down, hit the like button. Let's get this past 20 likes. It's more than possible with 34 viewers. Let's get this like button up, and let's get deeper into the YouTube algorithm. But yeah, please do, if you can, take a minute, hit the like button, and then we'll carry on. But yeah, for those of you that don't know, FOMC is in just under 6 hours time, and we will be live again, obviously on this channel later tonight for it. We are doing the usual daily stream here where we cover US Open, and then thereafter, and then obviously, yeah, we will be having a second stream tonight for FOMC, so do make sure you tune in for that. Should be a great one. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see, because obviously this is kind of the event that has been highly anticipated for basically all of this year, innit? Of when is the Fed finally going to cut rates? So we're kind of coming into that now.
So what actually is the rate now?
The rate now is 4.5 to 4.75, I think.
So
No, sorry. Current is 4.25 to 4.5.
So what happened to all this? We're trying to achieve 2%.
That on inflation.
Wasn't that what he was talking about? I can't remember.
Yeah, on inflation. Yeah,
on
inflation. Inflation's hovering. It has been hovering in the 2% range for ages, but it's not at 2%. I think we got 2.9% this month. On the data release. So it has been hovering in and around the figure for ages. I think it's been in and around the 2% now for basically all of this year, I think. But yeah, obviously the whole time is the target has been get it as close to 2% and keep it there as possible.
Okay.
Obviously now they're going to start easing rates. Yeah, I suppose it depends how fast and how much. I think maybe a bit of confusion will be is maybe everyone starts to think that they're going to do a cut every single meeting from now on, which might not be the case at all. You know, they could cut today and they might not cut for the rest of this year. It will, again, what does Powell like to say? Well anchored. So we want wankered. They'll just want to monitor the data as it unfolds. So, you know, if they get a piece of data that they really don't like the look of or whatever, you know, we might not get a cut again in the next meeting or in December or whatever. So it's still obviously very dependent on what comes through in the economy.
I was watching on Spud Stream this morning, and apparently on Polymarket there's a thing where you can bet on how many times Jerome Powell says words like inflation and stuff like that. And I was really hoping they'd have well anchored in there, you know, because I think that'd be a great thing to, you know, bet on. How many times he says well anchored.
Yeah, that would be a really good one actually. The like has been dropped. Yes. Inflation was 2% target. Doubt we will ever see that low again. Yeah, I mean it's hard to get it down there and keep it there. But how are we doing, Scottish? You're considering a TST short?
What's that?
I don't know. Let's go and take a look, shall we? TST. Let me get rid of that. Let's see. TS. I won't have it on here, will I? Has it had a what have I just done there? Has it had a pump? No. Let's see. Oh my god. What a mad daily candle that is. Yeah, so this is like that test token, innit? I remember when CZ tweeted about this and like just sent it on a moon mission. I mean, I'm guessing this was some sort of delisting announcement. One can only speculate, but I mean, the fact that it went from its daily high there to a daily low of nearly 70% is wild. But I mean, I don't think you can see it because of Stonksy. Let me just turn it off for a second. Look at this. Look at that daily candle. That is unbelievable. What a crazy daily candle that is.
Yeah, but zoom out a bit so you can see the beginning of time. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but I mean, look at that daily candle though. Look at the absorption on that. Like, it's literally gone all the way up, and that is just full absorption. So it's down just over 40% from obviously today's high. But I mean, look at the size of that wick that it's created. That is unbelievable. Yeah, the mind boggles. But yeah, there we go. TST. The thing is, Scottish, I mean, where do you even short it from there? You know what I mean? Like, where is... I don't know whether you missed the boat or not. I don't know. But obviously, Max risk reward was somewhere up here, weren't it? You know, could it maybe pop again and then come back down? I don't know. But yeah, that is crazy. I mean, anyone that was buying that up, obviously, really nicely in profit there. This thing is just relentless, isn't it? This thing, like I put in the Discord, might be the biggest scam token I've ever seen in my life. The movement on this is wild. And it's done it again. You know, it's done it again. That settlement there, to be fair, that was really good. That settlement, I don't know why I weren't looking at this, to be honest. because that, the way it's settled down there and compressed. This is exactly what I was looking for on ETH yesterday. Obviously, it fell down, tight compression. Obviously, found a nice base, and you can see there for yourself, it's up 50% today. Yeah, that is rather annoying. I will say. But back into, obviously, close to resistance. But I mean, you've really got to be brave to short this, haven't you? Fun fact, actually, Dean shorted this the other day from like $18 down to here. But he only had like $5 of margin in it. Yeah, he just did it. He just did it for a laugh last week on stream, and he actually caught like kind of the top on this move here. I think it was on Friday. Yeah, that he shorted it, and he actually caught like this whole drop, but he only had like $5 of margin in.
Even so, he might have made a few quid, I suppose.
There isn't a meeting in November. No, there's not. There's a meeting at the end of October, and then there is a meeting on the 10th of December.
Yeah. What are you drinking there?
So I got the it is Aldi's version of Fanta Lemon, but it's zero sugar as well. It's that Vive brand. I kind of like it, to be fair, because what really annoys me is Fanta don't do a zero sugar version of the lemon, and I really like it. But I don't really get to drink it that often because I always drink zero drinks instead of full sugar.
Me too. So
it's kind of a rarity that I would get like a full sugar drink like a Fanta Lemon, but I really like the taste of it. So that is kind of, don't get me wrong, it's not the same, but it's as close as you're going to get to a zero version. Yeah. But there we go. If anyone wants us to check out any other coins or whatever, let us know in the chat. We can certainly do that. This thing has been great, hasn't it? Pump. What a run this has been on.
I know.
I remember longing this on stream as well, and I just didn't hold it open, and it was in kind of this bottomy zone. Just foolish behavior.
I know. I keep looking at it, thinking like, shall I go into it? And then I think, no, surely it's overcooked now. And then it goes up again. It's like every time, And I don't know. I kind of want to be in it, but I don't know. Will it go up forever?
At some point, it'll crash down hard. I mean, the thing is Pump actually is one of the highest revenue products in the whole industry, and I think they're putting like 100% of the revenue into buying back the token now, aren't they?
Oh right, okay, yeah. And
Pump makes more money than Hyperliquid. They make more money than a lot of the protocols in this industry. So they've basically just got like an infinite money printer, because even if they apply all the revenue into it, I think they've already extracted probably like $1 billion out of it anyway in fees since obviously it launched. So they've already made more than enough bank. 2, obviously, I think didn't they do a raise or something as well where they got like 250 million? And 3, applying all the revenue into buying it back just pumps their own tokens anyway, because obviously they'll have a big team allocation as well. So, obviously tokens they hold will be going up in price, even if they're using all the revenue now to pump it. So, yeah, the model is insane, isn't it? The pump fund model is insane. Why are people expecting a Bitcoin dump if rates are getting cut? Because it is, it's the expectation in it. There's nothing in surprise. It's the expectation. It's kind of baked into the market. Sell the news events, buy the rumors, sell the news. Again, not to say that is what's going to happen, but that is the argument for saying, obviously, that, Bitcoin might dump after it. Is because if the Fed comes out and does indeed cut interest rates by 25 basis points, the market knows, it's a 94% probability. So there's nothing surprise for the market. So is it already baked in to the price action? Is that front Neji? So that is why. hello everyone. How are you doing, Space Cat? Great to see you. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you, Space Cat.
Yeah. Tell you what, though, I'm just looking at the funding rate on Bybit for Bitcoin. It's like 0.0068. That's quite low, which is not quite what you'd expect, because, well, it's one of those things. Is it what you expect? I mean, that implies that there's more people short than long.
Yeah.
So then you start thinking, all right, is everyone wrong then? Is it going to pump?
Yeah, potentially. So what's the argument for Bitcoin to pump after the announcement? Well, the argument could be that, obviously the cut rates. The argument of cutting rates doesn't only apply to, the potential for it to dump. The market could maybe see it as like a relief event that, that it's finally happened, whatever. And really what the thing you want to know is this event will probably be used as just, as a driver to go and source liquidity, because that's all it is. If everyone thinks we're going to 150k tomorrow because the Fed's cut rates, that's not going to happen. Not to say it couldn't happen by the end of the year, but it will basically be used as a driver for sourcing liquidity. And that's obviously what all these events are. They're just catalysts and impulses to send the market where it needs to go to source liquidity. I have a very big question. Well, I know that Fed going to bail us out, but everything is becoming too expensive right now. Until then, it's worth the risk. Buying when it's so high is worth the risk. I don't fully understand all of that, but everything is. You are right with everything is becoming too expensive. I mean, really, the Fed's not going to bail anyone out, because even them cutting rates, and this applies, to the Bank of England and stuff like that. The crazy thing is that the search term for help with mortgage, so the Google search term for help with mortgage, is now at the highest frequency it has been since the 2008 financial crisis.
Really?
Yeah. So the search term for help with mortgage on Google is now at that same height as it was in 2008, and that is obviously the height the max height of it. So even though the Fed's going to do this, it's not really going to help anyone with the mortgages, because mortgages aren't directly correlated. Yeah, obviously, they follow interest rates loosely, but just because the Fed cuts rates here doesn't mean that it's going to, drop mortgage rates tomorrow for Americans. And, we see that over here as well in the UK. Mortgage rates are obviously not directly tied one-to-one with interest rates. So it's not really going to help anyone. And what you got to remember is, obviously, anyone that got on them really cheap interest rates back in 2020, 2021, when, you could get a mortgage on like 1.5%, 2%, whatever. If anyone was on a 5-year fixed rate, they're all coming up for renewal now. It's 2026 next year, late 2025 now. So all them people that were on them super low rates are now jumping up to like 3%, maybe even 4% and above on their renewal, which means then obviously people just have to find an extra couple of £100 a month, which they might not be able to. So it could. I don't know what it will do or not, but obviously that is one of the other hands with what Space Cat is talking about, with how expensive everything is, and food. I mean, food just keeps going up in the shop, doesn't it?
It does, actually. There's
like, and for no reason as well. It's just pure greed, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's very little that costs less than £1 now. The cheapest thing, like single item, is about £1, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you went into Poundland now, I think most things will probably actually be over £1.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. You'll remember this, mate. A Pound Stretcher used to be my favourite shop as a kid. Used to be able to go into Pound Stretcher and get so much good stuff in Pound Stretcher. That was a goat, but you obviously can't have that. Poundland eventually will probably have to change its name, because I mean, what can you actually get for £100 now, apart from maybe like one Freddo? I mean, even a can is now like more than £1. If you wanted a bottle of something now, it's anywhere between probably like 150 and £2, depending on where you are in it.
Yeah, I remember all those shops in Spain. They were called like Todos 100 is like everything for 100 pesetas. And like 100 pesetas, well, a peseta doesn't exist these days, but back then when they changed to euros, I think there was about 200 pesetas to a euro. So 100 pesetas was it was about 50p or something. So they don't say Todos 100 now, they just say Todos. That's it. It's like everything. So I suppose that the equivalent would be here. Poundland will become land. Pound stretcher will be stretcher.
There is literally
Tenderland.
Nothing. But I'm not saying that will happen, but in the near future, at some point, we might stop going up, I believe. Oh no, yeah. I mean, at some point that will happen. The thing is, I think everyone's kind of been accustomed to the fact that the stock market just goes up only, which obviously naturally it's a market. At some point it will have to come down again. It will shift in trend, which will obviously bring crypto with it. If crypto's obviously not just doing it on its own. So you are right, Space Cat. The market will not go up forever because it's just not feasible, is it? When you zoom out on a high time frame, the market goes up forever, but you do get pullbacks, and you get some pretty strong pullbacks. But I mean, overall in the stock market, it's gone up basically for 15 years. At some point, it will have to have a couple-year bear market, in my view, anyway.
Have you seen gold?
Yeah, gold. Yeah, gold is just relentless, isn't it? Absolutely relentless.
I mean, that's just been.
Buy based on time frame, financial security, and desired investment effort. For that reason, I've started the rotation into Sol Link Sui for the next rotation over the next 4 to 8 weeks. It's funny that you've started your rotation into Sol. Do you not think maybe it's a bit late to start into Sol, or are you expecting it to go to like $400-500? I mean, Sol has ran pretty hard on it. It's interesting that you say Sol, but yeah, I mean, the market's all about rotation, isn't it? All about rotation. But I think looking at the Bitcoin chart there on the 1 hour is fascinating to me. I think it looks fascinating.
In what way?
I mean, I don't really know. I think
not that fascinating then.
I don't really know. I don't really know how to explain it. I think just because it won't, it's not really got that much room to go before it gets into, obviously some key areas. So obviously up here, 119 to 120, down here towards 113. Currently, we're kind of just in the middle of nowhere, aren't we? We're kind of just sticking around, trading in the middle of nowhere.
So, how far away from a new all-time high do you think we are? Could get one today, couldn't we?
I mean, in theory, you could. Yeah, in theory, you could. You would. It would take a monster move, but in theory, you could. I don't think we will, but it could happen. Yeah. I mean, are you expecting a new all-time high before obviously maybe looking a lot of the downside, like you're thinking, like 91, 92?
Yeah, well, I think if the 90, if it gets into below 100, I think it'll only be there for like a few minutes, and then it'll come back up. I think that's what will happen.
Yeah.
I think it will just, I mean, this is what BlockPro's been saying. Is like there might be a mass liquidation event later on today.
Yeah.
Because everyone's going to try and long it. And it might be the sort of thing where it drops down to 111 or something, and everyone thinks, oh, this is it. Everyone piles into a long, and then it drops down to 80, and then liquidates all them. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't want to be the harbinger of doom, but I do want to be prepared for that kind of thing. And if that happens, I want to be the guy with dry powder ready to pounce. So
a lion. Go on, right? Let's do the lion roar.
Me.
You do yours first.
That sounds more like a guy from Somerset.
You sound like a dog. You have to go. Roar.
Oh, that's quite good actually.
Roar.
Oh, that's a dog.
You sound like a dog again.
Oh.
You like growling, not roaring.
No, that's me snoring.
Roar.
That sounds like a horse.
Roar. I have to be mindful that there is like people in different offices, like on all sides of my one. Like,
oh yeah, of course you're in a thingy, aren't you? Now?
Yeah. Should get to the keys from a new house like mid October-ish.
All right, you're going to live in the office until then.
Yeah, I wish that'd be cheap. That'd be very cheap actually.
How much is it for that kind of thing?
No, to be fair, it's actually well, I suppose it depends what you consider expensive. Mine with the Wi-Fi is just under £400 a month.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
But it's also being used as storage, so it kind of got a 2-in-1 deal.
Ah, nice.
So it's being used as storage, but I've also moved my setup into it. It's nice and cozy as well. I've got my I've changed my cup. Don't know if you can see it. It's a pumpkin one. It says "Hello Autumn" on it. There you go. You can see it there.
Right.
It says "Hello Autumn," and it's got like loads of pumpkins and leaves and stuff on. So
nice, very nice.
Gonna get it looking nice and autumny. I tell you what, I'll get something out in a minute as well. And it's not my Johnson. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Have you seen UK and US? Yeah. I mean, what is the UK doing? I seen yesterday there was a story about the UK maybe limiting people only being able to hold up to 20,000 in stable coins. I mean, how do you even enforce something like that? Like, it's pretty much unenforceable, isn't it? Unless you're just on like a KYC exchange where you're obviously under a UK ID. Like, how would you even enforce that? Because you could just obviously, one, buy them on an exchange and send them out, or two, just buy a different asset like Sol, send it into Phantom and then swap that into stable coins if you wanted. Like, how would he ever going to try and enforce that? It's just ridiculous, isn't it? So
I just think they haven't got a clue about what it's all about.
No. I mean, this government hasn't got a clue on any subject, or no matter what it is. Never mind crypto, but even the last one, the Tories, they never did anything with crypto. There was always false promises, won't there, about trying to make the UK a crypto hub and everything, and they didn't deliver on that either. So yeah, I mean, I do feel like the UK is just destined to just be a hellhole for crypto, basically. I mean, really, I think the only real potential one is obviously Farage, because I think he is like a fan of Bitcoin, I believe, anyway. I don't know. But again, I mean, what will they do? Really, what we want is all anyone's bothered about is lowering capital gains in it, really, and just being allowed to actually use crypto without being vilified for it. But will that ever happen in the UK? I really don't know. Anyway, SAR says, feel like support holding the 232 level. Yeah, I think we actually saw one of the companies. I think they applied for don't tell me the camera's done that again. It has. One of the companies with the ticker Ford. I don't think it's not listed yet, but they've applied to list on NASDAQ. They are trying to raise 4 billion, I believe, on listing, and I think they're going to use most of the money to buy Sol. So obviously, I think there was a couple billion spent on Sol, wasn't there, over the weekend and last week? And yeah, hopefully, we will see. Obviously, for anyone long on Sol, that happen again. I missed a lion inside Save with Crypto, says Space Cat. Someone sounds like a pirate. I think that was Save with his growling. He said capital gains tax on crypto. See, that's what we want, isn't it? That is what we want. That is what we want. We want 0% capital gains tax. But what you want is, you just want you want it in there, don't you? You want it in there, which hopefully, obviously, if obviously come a next election, if reform do get in, that is one of the priorities is obviously sorting out crypto in the UK, because between obviously the Conservatives and Labour, they've basically just ruined the whole thing, haven't they? It couldn't really be more ruined in the UK, apart from literally just not being able to use it at all.
Yeah, I tell you what I'd like is probably like someone in my situation where I've sold I've sold a house, right? So I sold one in France, and that was my main residence, and I sold that, and I won't tell exactly what I did with the money, but let's say that I got the money for that, and I bought Bitcoin with it, right? And then I moved to England, and I don't want to buy a house straight away, but at the same time, I don't just want to keep a pile of money in the bank kind of rotting away, so I want to keep the Bitcoin, on my ledger or wherever. And then when I decide to buy the house, say I want to buy a house here, what I want to be able to do is to just sell that Bitcoin and buy a house with it, and not have to pay tax on how much it's increased over the time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I'd like, really. If I could do that, I would have. I suppose that is capital gains, but but literally that's all I'm talking about,
Yeah.
And it's because that is an alternative to just putting it in the bank and getting 1% interest.
It's just tax on tax, isn't it? Because you would pay the capital gains tax, and then you would also have to pay stamp duty.
Exactly.
So you're paying just tax on tax. I think that about, as well as like, just general tax bills as well. Like, for instance, like if you just had to pay a general tax bill, say you're self-employed, obviously if you was to sell crypto, then to say pay your tax return, you shouldn't have to pay tax on that, because you're paying tax to HMRC anyway. You're paying obviously what you've earned. So you're paying, you're already paying a form of tax, where obviously what governments like to do is just make you pay tax on tax on tax. It's like inheritance tax, in it. Taxing your money that's already been taxed probably about 3 times.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is, sometimes I do some work where I get paid in crypto. I don't always get paid in crypto, but sometimes I do that.
Yeah.
And if someone chooses to pay me in crypto, and then I think, oh, actually, I don't want to keep it as crypto, but I want to sell it and then spend it on, I don't know, wherever, supermarket shopping or whatever. So if I then pay myself with that crypto, but I sell it, that means I'm declaring, if you like, self-employed or whatever, you're actually declaring the money you've earned, but you're also, in theory, paying tax on the amount that the crypto might have gone up or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like that doesn't seem massively fair to me at all.
No, it's very blurred lines, isn't it? It's very blurred lines.
So the kind of temptation is to, well, either not spend it at all, or not tell anyone about it.
throw it in a non-KYC exchange and gamble.
Well, exactly, and that's
put it on 100x.
Yeah, that is the kind of temptation. That's kind of what I've done to some extent. But I don't know. It's a bit crap, the UK. I mean, my thinking is, by the time I want to cash out all my crypto and stuff, I probably won't live in the UK. You're
going to go live in that psychedelic retreat, aren't you?
In Spain, yeah, which is even worse, actually, sort of crypto-wise, apparently.
Yeah. I think the best place in Europe is, or one of anyway that I know of, is Portugal, isn't it?
It did used to be, yeah. I mean, Space Cat might be able to confirm that. But
you live there for a year and then everything is
that's right,
0.
Yeah. I mean, I know people like Didi from the Bitcoin family.
No.
Do you ever watch that?
No.
Okay. Oh, he's quite a cool fella. He's like a Dutch guy, but he quite famously, him and his family, they sold their property and everything they owned in the Netherlands, and then they just bought a load of Bitcoin with it, and then he sort of travels around the world with his family, and they kind of they lived in lots of different countries, and they just live off the Bitcoin really. And he's got a YouTube channel called the Bitcoin Family, but he's quite a nice, cool dude. But he was going to base himself in Portugal for a long time, and he was going to build like a Bitcoin village there, where you could buy like a home there for like 2 Bitcoin, I think it was,
Yeah.
And but he was going to do all that because the regulations were like really good there, but then they all changed. It's not so good anymore. So he's not going to do it. But things did definitely change, But anyway, Space Cat will probably confirm that, because I think he's in Portugal.
Yeah. I'm just going to run to the toilet, so I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, well, Bon PP or whatever they say.
Because obviously I have to go downstairs in this building to go to the toilet. It's not just across my landing. So I'll leave you with the script. If you want to load yours up, feel free. If you want to leave mine on, feel free.
I'll just have a look through the comments for a little bit and
I've only a couple minutes.
You're not going large then?
No. I'm not releasing the Kraken.
Okay.
I've already laid a big one today.
Anyway, Mr. Delta's there. Hello, mate. How you doing? Thank you again for coming along to the my show last Friday. That was good fun. I have to do that again. Okay, I think we've looked at that one. How you doing? Yeah. Shits and giggles. What do you think will happen today? Well, me personally, pretty much what I said. I think I'd be a guess really, but I suppose we could do a poll actually. But actually, vote on the poll anyway. I'm going to do that. To the direction on US Open. I'm thinking it's total coin toss, but I think up. So okay, let's go on the basis that I think up for 230 for New York Open. So that is what 79% of the people are thinking here. So what I think we might pump a little bit towards the FOMC meeting, and then when we get into it, one of 2 things could happen, maybe 3 things. I personally think what might happen is the rate cut might get announced. It'll be 0.25. If it's 0.25, I think that is already built into the price now. So I think at that point it would be quite disappointing, and the price could come down a bit. Where to? I don't know. Maybe somewhere like 112. Now, if it's less than 0.25, even though it's good news overall, I think that's going to be taken as bad news, and I think there could be a really big crash. So that's what I think there. If it's better than 0.25, I don't see why it would be, but if it is, then we could see the price of most assets moon quite nicely. But then I don't know. You have to think about it from a market maker's point of view. What they're just not going to let it be too easy, are they? That they're not going to. They're not going to let us win too easily. So I think there's going to be a bit of whipsaw action. Longs are going to get liquidated, shorts are going to get liquidated, and then later on we'll actually find out that actual direction. So I don't know. That wasn't a very good answer, but I think you should be prepared for anything really. And to be honest, if you're worried about the price running away with you, and you missing out, then probably the thing to do, if you've got a load of USDT in your account, just buy Bitcoin spot. If you do that and then the price goes up, you've still got Bitcoin, it's worth more. If the price goes down, you can move it into your futures account and then long it on the way back up and make more Bitcoin. That might be a safer way to do it, just playing with spot positions until everything sorts itself out. I mean, today is going to be a difficult day to trade, and if you're not sure of your plan, then probably the best thing is to just sit on the side and just wait until all the madness dies down. Anyway, coding saying CGT increases force people to not sell as well. Yeah, well, yeah. don't know. It's just unfair, isn't it? Really.
You love it, you don't you?
You what? Sorry.
You love it, you don't you?
Love what?
Capital gains tax.
On what planet would you like it? Hang on. When would capital gains tax would be good if you were? No, I can't think of any situation at all.
No, if you were HMRC.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Anyway, Space Cat is saying here in Portugal, cryptocurrencies are subject to a 28% capital gains tax if sold within 1 year of acquisition, while gains from assets held over a year are generally tax-free. Okay. That's great, isn't it? I like that. Yeah. However, income from activities like staking or mining may be taxed differently, so it's important to understand the specific regulations that apply.
Yeah.
How does trading affect that?
Because actually, I think there's a bit of a blurred line between trading being classed as a capital gain or an income. I think there's a bit of a blurred line between the two. I think, right. And I'm not actually 100% sure on obviously what is classified where, but I believe that there actually is a bit of a discrepancy on obviously whether trading is classed as capital gain or classed as like a potential income tax.
Right. Anyway, Shits and Giggles saying, what time are you guys going live for FOMC? That's interesting. You said guys plural.
Yeah, it's almost like he knew.
Yeah, I know. Guess what's going to happen?
It's almost like he knew. It will be 6:50 UK time tonight. So what's that? 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
4.5 hours. We will be live for it, and then obviously got the rate announcements, reaction, and then obviously we'll watch the Powell conference and then done. We will have closed the poll. The poll was on 81%, so the renowned expectation is we go up.
Yeah. Pre-open dump. Yeah, I might have to go for one actually.
Yeah. Go and release it. What time I didn't hear? 6:50 p.m. So 10 to 7 p.m. UK time. So in 4.5 hours from now. 4.5 hours from now is when the live stream will commence. And then it will be around an hour and 10-minute live stream.
I've taken my finger off the thing. Sorry about that.
No, don't you apologise for anything, mate, ever. Don't you apologise for anything. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, generally, it's just kind of a relief when these things are like got out the way, innit? Whenever these things are like over and done and dusted, it's kind of like, all right, well, at least that's done. On to the next thing.
I mean, there might be good opportunities today, but at the same time, you might end up horribly trapped if you do it wrong. So, you don't have to trade today. That's the point. Yeah. I mean, that's what Block Pro was saying earlier on. He said, like, maybe just wait until it's all calmed down. And then,
I also think, on that, I also think it's just like in a bit of a really shitty position at the moment to try and take a long or short in either direction. I just think because if you're not already in a trade that you're comfortable with, I do kind of think that this is a bit of a shitty position to try and look for one way or another. After the FOMC announcements, the rate announcements in a couple hours, we should then obviously get, you would like to think, some sort of opportunity. But I think obviously, if you're short from up here, you're comfy, aren't you, to take some profit or just set your stop at break even. If you're long from sub 115k, whatever it may be, same thing. You're in a comfy position to kind of just, have it risk free and what have you. But to obviously maybe take something from here, it's kind of like I said, if you zoom out a bit, it's kind of just like in the middle of nowhere. Not in one of them really high risk reward places anyway. I don't know. Yeah. But
what I was saying when you'd gone to the bog was I was saying if you're unsure today, an idea, not financial advice, of course, is if you've got a load of USDT in your account, just buy Bitcoin like spot, and then if it goes up, that's good. If it goes down, then you can always, if you got BLOFIN, you can always stick it in the inverse perpetual and then trade that as you come back up, and then make more Bitcoin that way.
Yeah, I think that's something I'm going to actually be looking for. Like if we do dump down to 113k. Or just somewhere in general, where I'd be looking to get long, is maybe looking at that, and obviously doing the inverse perp.
Anyway, I heard you mention the other day. I heard you mention my name, and you were talking about Swissborg, and
oh yeah.
I have to say, for something to actually, and they didn't actually get hacked. I mean, that was not true. What it was is one of their staking providers got hacked or something, wasn't it? And so they had a bit of a problem, and the price of Borg went down loads. Have a look at it today.
Let's see.
I mean,
if
ever this is a good,
nicely, I know.
If ever this is a sign of a good company.
Look at it. It's really trying to push through, and what I was going through actually on stream was, it's kind of at the point now. Obviously, it's into big resistance here. You can see all through December and into January, this kind of like 37 to 39 cent range was where for basically a month and a half ish, where it found resistance time after time after time, and obviously now it's pressing it. Where obviously currently we've not pressed right in there. We've still got a couple of cents to go, but this is obviously the area, a couple here and a couple of cents higher. Basically, just stopping it from going to 50 cents, in my view. If we push through and you start getting to 40 cents, and obviously if it does a daily close there and starts holding nicely, then it should be like a bullet to 50 cents, you would imagine. But I mean, just look at that. Just back in June, it was 16, 17 cents. What a great entry that was, looking back at it, wasn't it? Well, that is now a clean 2x. Very clean as well. As clean as a polished turd. So that is, actually that's the wrong use of phrase, isn't it? As clean as Save with Crypto's balls. Again, that's the wrong use of phrase. Actually, you said you've never shaven them. As clean as a whistle. There we go. As clean as a whistle, that old phrase. But yeah, I mean, great move. And yeah, you are right. Obviously it's been through some turmoil, hasn't it, with what happened with one of the staking providers, Kiln. Yeah. With that whole, I don't even know exactly what happened with it, but obviously it lost a lot of money in there. But since then, Borg has gone from 26 cents ish up to nearly 37.
Yeah.
And that's one of your nice holdings, isn't it? What about what you're thinking on Crow?
Oh, Crow's a weird one, actually.
Crow is coming down to where I've kind of had my eye on it a bit. I think it would be nice, but not nice, because obviously it would have been nice if it stayed up. But if it gets back towards that 20 cent region, I think that could be the bounce place for it.
Yeah, I mean, everything's kind of looking like it should go up, and it's just not.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, I got distracted there. I was looking at my my buy prices for Borg, actually. Yeah, I think I bought most of it around about 8 cents, actually. Anyway, yeah, I did.
You're nearly a 5x on that now.
Yeah, it's doing very nice. Sorry, what was I on about? CRO. Yeah, I mean, everything looks like it should go up, but it's not, and it's really weird. I don't know. I've done quite a few videos about that recently, and I've kind of, I keep saying I think we're near a bottom, and I feel a bit of an idiot really, because I keep saying that, and then but I know one day it will just. Yeah.
The thing is, with the size of the candle it had, the size of the two candles, them two daily candles, or three. What was it? I can't see there because of Stonksy. Is it 3? Yeah, it's 3, wasn't it? The size of them 3 daily candles moving from 15 cents, basically doing like a 2.5x in 3 days. you are going to get some sort of, retrace. I mean, what all you can say is the last 3 daily candles, including this one, are showing some pretty nice signs, to be fair, now.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you look at it in terms of like maybe an SR test, obviously maybe a bit lower if you're looking, to maybe to retest the November, December highs as support potentially. But, obviously the thing with this is the owners of this can basically put a bottom in wherever they want, can't they? Is basically the long and short of it. But yeah, I think it could go up from anywhere in and around here. And sometimes, sometimes you can have a short memory, can't you? It was only a good few weeks ago that it was, around 15 cents.
Oh yeah.
So from there, from obviously where it went up, it's still up 50% from obviously this impulse candle here, the first one.
Yeah, I was just having a look. We've had what we've had 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 5 daily candles in a row. Sorry, 5 red candles. 5 red daily candles in a row. We had that before in August, and then it went, and that's before it went up loads.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's everything's looking like it should go up to me, but as you say, there is that kind of whatever you want to call it, a void or an inefficiency or a fair value gap or whatever, just below where we are, back down to about, back down to about 16 cents, really, isn't it? So, yeah. Anyway, I'm mostly spot on that, so that doesn't really matter. I'm just going to hold it anyway, and I'll hold it all the way to $2, I think.
Oh, imagine, and I know how much you'd have on that as well. Oh, we're open.
Oh.
There we go. So we're open. I know how much you love that bell. You love it, don't you?
I like the end of it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. Anyway, what's happening?
Oh yeah.
Right. Ethereum's dumping.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You're right there.
Right.
Beg your pardon.
Discipline says, interested to see what happens after the US market. Oh, yeah, let's see. Sean says, I'm paying myself some profit today. If we drop, I'll feel better. If we soar, I'll be very happy. Good, mate. It's good attitude to have and a good approach. Hey, guys, could you take a look at Link? We can do, yeah. Let's just let US Open happen for a couple minutes, and then we'll go and take a look at Link. Famous market dump. I mean, we might not. The thing is, we might not really get much volatility going into FOMC. Obviously, maybe everyone's saving their trading capital for when we get FOMC. Who knows?
Yeah, it's a pride of lions.
Yeah, that's right. Say that again.
It's a pride of lions.
Now do the raw. Go on. You do the raw and I'll do it.
No, that sounds like a pirate.
It sounds like a pirate / dog.
No, I can't do it. Yeah,
how about that?
That's quite good. You actually said the word raw though, didn't you? Which is probably. You see, that just sounded like you're gagging on something.
I don't want to do it too loud. It'd be roaring like a lion.
So is it a kind of like what do you call it? Like a open plan office sort of thing, or?
No, it's not an open plan office. It's an office building with like loads of different offices in it.
So you're in your own little room.
I'm in my own room. Yeah. So I'm in my own room.
So nobody knows. Nobody knows what you're up to.
Well, yeah, because like I can't imagine the walls. I mean, I can sometimes hear people speaking in like obviously one of the rooms next door. There is, to be honest, there's not that many. I think there's 2 offices next to me. I think there's one on one wall and then one on the other, because I know there's not one that way and I know there's not one that way. So I think there may be 2, if not 1, but I think 2 offices connected to me. But yeah, the walls aren't obviously like that thick, because sometimes I do hear something through the walls. So yeah, there you go.
Actually thinking about it, you know, so when it gets into winter, because I assume that £400 includes like heating and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it includes heating, electric. It was actually only $360, but you have to pay extra if you want obviously the internet in here. So to be honest, it's not 400, it's like 385.
Okay.
But
no, I was just thinking, like, I mean, it's obviously I wouldn't do it now, but if say I lived on my own or whatever, you know, it'd almost be worth having something like that. And then in the winter I'd go there and work there, and it'd be cheaper than heating the bloody house here, you know.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it feels very nice and ambient in here. The radiator isn't on at the moment, but you know, it's by no means is it cold in here.
You got your foot spa in there?
Yes, I've got my foot massager on. It's the problem with the foot massager is it's broke. Like it still does the kneading, but the air compression on it is broke. So I've still got it going on my feet. It's still kneading it and stuff, but it was the best when it had the air compression as well, because it would really squeeze your feet into the kneading then.
Where'd you get it from?
Amazon, and it wasn't cheap either. It was like 100 and something. It was like 110 quid or something.
All right.
But when you sell your crow for $2, I will. You can buy me a new one.
Okay, I think I say you'll buy me one as a congratulations present.
Oh no, not with how much I know you'd walk away with. You wouldn't get there though, would you? You wouldn't get to $2. Surely you'd get to like 170, 180 and be like, right, okay, that's enough. Or would you not?
I don't know. Well, I've got
these things don't tend to get to them big round numbers, do they? They always get front run a bit. Yeah,
I don't know. I've got specific things I want to do. I do fancy a house, you know, and
yeah.
And if I want to buy a house with no mortgage, you know. So
yeah. The funny thing is, it went from $1 to $2. It was only a few weeks ago you said, I'm going to sell it all at $1.
Well, no, you said, what price would you think about selling it at?
Oh, is that what it was?
And I said I'll start to think about it at $1, but
yeah.
Then I don't know. But I don't know. It depends when the end of this bull market is, you know.
Well, that's the thing. But the thing, you know, what you could always do is obviously sell it and then look for one more trade, which would be maybe, you know, obviously waiting for some sort of deep stock market pullback and throwing it in that, which would obviously be a more safe option for it, wouldn't it, really? Unless obviously you want to deploy into a house, actually, don't you?
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I ideally, you know, sort of make a load of money, and then the whole market crashes, including the house market as well, and then I can buy a cheap house. You know, that'd be good.
Buy a cheap Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, like, you know, give it another 2 years, and you know, like neither daughter will live with me, and I won't actually need a house then. I just, you know, I could just bugger off and live somewhere else. I don't know. Yeah. I think what I'd like is I'd like a little house. I don't really want a flat or an apartment. Yeah. So I kind of want like a little house where I could keep my stuff and use that as my base, and then you know, just probably like wander around the world doing stuff. You know, I think I'd like to that. I'm not sure if I would like that. I don't know. Like,
I think that sounds like a good idea. I think that's
yeah. It sounds like a good idea if you're like in your 20s and 30s, but I'm not anymore, you know. So
yeah, but there's no limit on that, is there? You know, why can you not go traveling at your age?
At 100 years old,
like a lizard, as old as a lizard.
Oh, you see, Delta's saying live at ours. I like it where he lives. Actually, it's nice.
Yeah, I bet he'd love that, wouldn't he? You'd wake up and he'd be like lay next to you. He'd be stroking your hair, lay next to you.
I'm not sure what his missus would have to say about that. But...
Do you know what I've been really finding funny recently?
What?
Is on TikTok. I keep getting these videos coming up on my For You page, and they are so funny. Basically, this guy, he goes through a checkout, in a supermarket, and he goes through a checkout with a large cucumber, a pack of Johnny's, lube, some baby oil, and like maybe some like rope or sellotape or something. And obviously, like, just see the reaction, of the person that's serving him. that's what you'd wake up to with Delta. Just have all these objects.
What was that comedy show? It used to have Caroline Aherne on it, where she was like the supermarket cashier, and she'd always comment on the things that you'd bought. What was that show? Probably before your days. I don't know. Anyway, that was the same kind of thing, but it was like a woman in a supermarket, and there'd be like some sort of cream or something, and she'd be like, "Oh, you're a bit itchy down below, are you?"
Yeah. There used to be a really good supermarket show as well, and it had Jason Watkins in it, and I can't remember what it was called. It wasn't called like The Shop or The Supermarket. I can't remember what it was called. And that was a really good like kind of sitcom. I can't remember what it was called though. It was funny. I miss watching all them, like watching like Modern Family. That was a great one. The Middle. Did you ever watch The Middle? That was a great series. That was really good. That supermarket one was funny. What other good ones is there? What other good ones? Mount Pleasant. Remember that? That was good. Mount Pleasant was good.
Never heard of any of these things.
No. Oh, you're missing out.
Is it on some weird channel or like?
No. Well,
Granada.
No. The Middle was on. What was The Middle on? I think The Middle was on Comedy Central. Modern Family was on Sky. What was the channel? I can't remember what that was on. I spent on Sky Atlantic or something. I can't remember. I can't remember what the shot one was on. And what was the last one I said? Mount Pleasant. That was on that same kind of Sky. I can't remember what that Sky channel's called. Oh, I don't know. But they're all legendary anyway. The Fast Show. Don't remember what was that? What one was
Fast Show was. That might have been the Carolina Home one. Yeah, no, it had what's his face on? Paul, not Paul Whitehouse.
Paul O'Grady.
No, what was it called? I can't remember now.
Disney Channel, not Disney Channel, Space Cat. No. It's not Disney Channel. We're not talking about Hannah Montana or the Wizards of Waverly Place or whatever it was called, or whatever. iCarly. Drake and Josh, that was great. Oh, what a legendary show that was, Drake and Josh. Oh, now that is peak. That's peak childhood. Anyway, enough of that. We are falling down on Bitcoin. And obviously we have, been steadily, nothing, to be fair, nothing major, nothing like yesterday. Holy God, no. This time yesterday, my arse was twitching about to get liquidated. But yeah, we've obviously fallen down a bit more on ETH in relative to Bitcoin. Although it is up 0.34% against it today. But yeah, I'm keen to see what happens today. I'm keen to see it. There's nothing. I don't think we're going to get much until. You can't imagine there's going to be much volatility until FOMC, though, can you? Nvidia is actually down 2.3, nearly 2.4%. There you go, 2.4%, nearly 2.5% down. Nvidia. It's a big drop compared. Oh, and Tesla as well. Yeah, look at that drop on Nvidia. Apple is up nearly 1%, and then we've got Meta down, Microsoft down, Amazon down 1%, and Tesla. Oh, did you see Tesla yesterday?
It went mad, didn't it?
Or Monday, whatever day it went mad. Yeah. Obviously, with Musk announcing that he was buying $1 billion of it or something like that, didn't he? He said he would. I don't know. Anyway, he sent it up quite nicely. And it's had a good old time of it as Tesla. It was only a few weeks ago where it was down at $300. So, that's had like a 30% plus rally of late. So that has been doing really well. My trading view is frozen.
How is it?
Am I coming through clearly on?
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, you're fine.
Let me refresh it in that case. What have we got? Actually, good show, no joke though. Which one? Did your ETH get liquidated? Yeah, listen to this, shits and giggles. It got liquidated by $1. I swear, literally $1. My liquidation was 4422, and ETH went down to 4421, and then bounced all the way up past my entry, and would have put me in quite a nice, handsome profit, to be fair. Or obviously just avoided liquidation altogether. I honestly, I could not believe it. Couldn't believe it. Giggity. Oh no, it's Mr. ICT. It's Mr. Boiled Chicken himself.
Blimey.
Musk chasing his $1 trillion pay package. Yeah, that's crazy, that, isn't it? Some of the conditions in there are wild though. I think one of the conditions is like, I think obviously maybe this is one of the last conditions, I don't know, but I know one of the conditions is like Tesla gets to like a 8, 9 or $10 trillion market cap or something. But yeah, I think obviously some of them may be pretty easy for him to hit, so he's gonna probably walk away with another couple of $100 billion. Isn't it just crazy to think about having that money? Like, the money that he's got now, what would you do with the rest of it? Apart from obviously just pass it down or do cool things with it or something. I don't know. Like, how do you manage that? Like, how do you manage that money? Like, where do you put it?
I mean, I suppose that's the bit when you get like, oh, I'll make another spaceship or something, and
Yeah, I suppose he may just pile as much money as he wants to in maybe getting to Mars. I don't know.
I mean, you're not going to put that money in the bank and just stare at it, are you? You're going to want to do something with it.
Can you imagine that though? Like, that's what I mean. Like, how many banks do you reckon you have to spread that amount of money across to be like insured on it? I assume they have a special billionaires insurance thing, but like, my God, can you imagine opening your bank account and seeing like 9 figures or 7 figures? 10 figures. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Like, imagine sitting there looking at it. You're just sitting there looking like, wow, there's $400 million in this bank. I could literally basically buy anything.
Yeah, it's never going to happen.
That's not even obviously a drop in the ocean of what he's worth. Now, the thing obviously a lot of people get confused is between net worth and then obviously actual liquid cash. So while his net worth is obviously a couple of $100 billion, that doesn't mean he's just got a couple of $100 billion in the bank. He's maybe got, well, I wouldn't like to say, but obviously a lot of that is probably tied up in, obviously Tesla stock, SpaceX ownership, Boring Company, and then obviously whatever else he's got, I don't know. Dave Save, did you see Wiz's 100 to 1 million challenge? I know he's doing something with AI, isn't he? Yeah, I think the first trade was yesterday. I can't remember. If I remember correctly, in 2024 we had one day where we witnessed US FOMC, CPI, Canadian CPI, and UK CPI on the same day. That may be true apart from the US CPI. FOMC and CPI is never on the same day. You'll never get that because the Fed has to react to the latest US economic data. So we may have had FOMC, Canadian and UK CPI on the same day, but we'd never get FOMC and CPI on the same day because obviously the Fed has to discuss, the recent data that has come in. But we probably maybe got the others and maybe something else as well. We could have had something else. We could always have a different piece of US data, but you wouldn't get inflation data on the same day as FOMC. But we probably had something else, yeah. So some weeks you do get weeks like that where we've got maybe PPI. I think it was last week actually where we had PPI and CPI, a day after each other. But you do get some weeks where it's just completely news stacked, obviously just data stacked, which does kind of make it, obviously harder to trade into at times. But yeah, nothing really much going on, is there? Let's go and have a look.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, I mean, the whole market's a bit meh today, isn't it?
Bit what? Bit meh.
A bit meh. Yeah.
Bit meh.
Yeah.
Bit meh.
It's like, you know, there's no big dumpers, no big pumpers, nothing really. It's just a bit boring, really, isn't it?
Do you prefer a dump or a pump? I've just realised that
you can't beat a good pump.
Our good friend Shits and Giggles asked us to look at Link. Now, if you look at Link, look at that. Look at that. Literally what I drew for us last week. So we was obviously compressing, wasn't we, under here? And then we got above and we went straight up towards $25. So that was I didn't trade that, by the way. I wish I did, but it come to plan for whatever we was looking at Link last week. So I mean, these are just the levels on Link. You know, very very easy to analyze levels. Let me just fiddle around with this a bit. I think we can probably adjust that a bit, yeah. But you know, we've got obviously back in here. So basically, Link is now pegged between $24 and kind of 22.7, 22.70, 22.8, this kind of region here. So basically, I'll just draw out obviously what you want. So again, like last week, you need Link to break $24 to go up to here towards 25. As you can see, we get rejected from this region again. So then we need to get above there to go back up towards 26 to 27. Obviously to the downside, if we come to the downside, we could fall back into here. So obviously if we go down, you know, if we break below here, then we could fall back into the and maybe come to wipe out that low. If you're looking obviously on a bigger time frame, again, it's very very easy on Link when you look at it. Obviously we zoom out, got all the levels tagged here. So as you can see, this region here is just big, is big resistance if you look at it on the daily. So obviously we've got that resistance there just above $25 that we looked at, but then that extends all the way up to, you know, towards 27. Now obviously we need to get above there and hold to then go into here. Now this is the next region of supply, and then above there up to here, and then above there up to here, and then above there up to here. There you go. So obviously the higher you go, much like Solana, the higher you go, obviously the less levels you've got. And you know, really on Solana we've only got like 1 or 2 more levels to the upside before it's in just full price discovery mode. Link has obviously got a few more to melt through to the upside, but it's just level to level. And the thing about Link is it's very very nice on level to level play. It's very easy to play Link on level to level. If you want an altcoin that moves rationally in the market, and also, you know, obviously follows the market, but is also, you know, really nice level to level play, I would suggest Link as probably the one that, you know, to look at, because it just moves very nicely between its levels, and you know, it's often very clean. So yeah, if you are looking for something out there as an altcoin, maybe even obviously more than ETH, to be fair, because if ETH pumps, you know, chances are Link's going to get a pump as well following it. But it moves a lot more rationally in the market because, you know, as you can see, it just respects its levels very nicely. So yeah, there we go. I don't trade Link as much as I should, really. Should trade it more. I should trade it more. But yeah, there we go. There we jolly well go. Bitcoin bounced like a 9% range that day. Dave, what has been your single biggest loss in crypto? Mine was 11k on a pump fund. Bloody hell. I don't know. I don't really want to say, to be honest. I don't really want to say.
Yeah, same actually.
Yeah.
But to be honest, my biggest loss was staking some Bitcoin on a platform that went bust. So I won't be doing that ever again.
Orbit, was it?
Yeah.
Or what was it called? Freeway.
Freeway, yeah. I mean, you know, I still get letters and not letters, but I still get emails and stuff about, you know, the liquidators trying to recover funds and stuff, you know, but I'm not holding my breath really. But, you know, that was really annoying though, because that was kind of like, you know, I kind of knew it was too good to be true, and I couldn't bring myself to just take my money out because I kept seeing it go up so much, you know. But
I think that's the one thing in it. It's just like freezing in moments of time. You know, like for instance, yeah, like if something goes up really fast or whatever, like sometimes you just tend to freeze, don't you? And you kind of like you can't give it that proper rational view.
Yeah, but yeah, that would have changed my life, to be honest. But you know,
yeah. The thing is, if you ever do get some of that back, it's basically just like forgotten money. Now that's what I said to Wiz yesterday. You know, the fact that he's got access to that ETH again, it's just basically like forgotten money, isn't it? Really.
Well, I mean, to be honest, the last email they got, you know, they had recovered from various things. They had recovered, you know, quite a few million. So I should get something one day, but I don't think it'll be. Well, the problem was I was staking Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you know I won't get that back. That's for sure. You know, I might get back what it was worth back then, but that was obviously not as much as it would be worth these days, you know.
Oh yeah, you won't get what it's worth now.
No, it's a bit like the Mt. Gox stuff, isn't it? You know, sort of. You know, they got. But did they ever get stuff back or not?
I don't know. It's really I haven't seen a news story about that in ages. Well, I think the thing, obviously, for the others though, you know, like FTX and BlockFi and stuff, there was obviously a bit, and Gemini as well. For Gemini Earn customers, you know, I think there was a big kind of like uproar and discussion about obviously giving people back what assets were worth in November 2022 as opposed to what they're worth now, which obviously, as we know, multiple X's higher. BTC support broken. I mean, again, I don't think it really matters now, like, because we, you know, in just a few hours, we have got an event which could see it just completely send in any direction. What I will say is, obviously, this kind of area, you know, was big resistance for, you know, a couple days, weren't it? Again, that's really low time frame, so there's probably not much point in using that. But I mean, really, you look at it, Bitcoin is basically just in this range here, where Stonksy's basically got it, Drew. And all we've had is, you know, just kind of like two little fake outs, basically. If it'll draw. Why won't it draw? Why is it doing that? You know, there and then there. We've not really pushed on at all. So, if anything, we're potentially just opening back this kind of range here that we've been in. So, yeah, that's probably what I would say. But yeah, we'll leave it there for now anyway. Obviously, we will be back with you guys later tonight. Make sure you tune in for FOMC live. And yeah, until then, we'll see what we get. We might not get much volatility. We might get a move ahead of the event. We just don't know. But it'll be good to watch. Anyway, see you all later. Thanks for joining. Make sure if you haven't, drop a like, subscribe, and click the links in the description. If you want somewhere to trade, there's plenty of links down there for you to choose from. And of course, 35% off Stonksy still. But yeah, catch you in a few hours. Bye-bye.
See you later.